Hello everyone. So today our group will be presenting on the issue of child marriage, a social problem that continues to affect the dignity, freedom and development of young girls in Malaysia and around the world. Child marriage refers to a legal or informal union where at least one party is under 18. It is often driven by poverty, social pressure and misinterpretation of religion or culture. However, it can lead to emotional trauma, health risks and the lost educational opportunities. From a philosophical standpoint, in Islam, marriage must be based on consent, maturity and readiness. The religion promotes protection, justice and preventing harm, values that are not fulfilled in child marriage. In Christianity, marriage is a sacred bond built on love and responsibility. The Bible emphasizes the protection of children and the importance of maturity before entering such a lifelong commitment. The principle of belief in God teaches us, through both Islam and Christianity, to act with compassion and protect the vulnerable, especially children. Under the rule of law, child marriage may violate legal protections such as the right to education and the minimum age for marriage, making it is a matter of justice as well as ethics. Through this assignment, we aim to think deeply about current issues affecting human existence, collaborate to build knowledge and analytical skills, and communicate our findings clearly and confidently. It also helps us to understand child marriage through philosophy, religion and the Rukun Negara, and analyze it as a foundation for intercultural dialogue and understanding. In conclusion, child marriage is not just a social or legal issue. It challenges our ethical, spiritual, national values. Addressing it requires reflection, education and collective responsibility. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good day to my beautiful lecturer and my fellow friends. Today I'll be discussing a topic that is often hidden behind cultural norms and legal loopholes, which is child marriage in Malaysia. One of the biggest causes is poverty. For families in rural or low-income communities, marrying off a daughter can mean one less mouth to feed. Secondly, lack of education leads to early marriage. When children, especially girls, drop out of school, they become more vulnerable to being married off. Then comes with traditional and cultural beliefs. Some communities believe early marriages protects family honor or prevents premarital relationships. Legally also, Sharia law allows Muslim girls under 18 to marry with court approval, which creates inconsistencies in how child protection is applied. Lastly, unplanned teenage pregnancies and family pressure also lead to rushed marriages as a way to fix the situation. These causes are deeply connected to the social values and laws, which I'll explore further in the next slide. So, the impact of child marriage is not just personal, it affects our whole society. Firstly, these young girls often have to leave school, limiting their chances for a better future, and this leads to a cycle of poverty. Early pregnancy puts their health at risk. According to UNICEF, girls under 18 face higher chances of complications and even death during childbirth. Mentally, many experience depression, trauma, and emotional abuse, especially when they are in forced marriages with older men. Child marriage also deepens gender inequality. These girls are robbed of the independence and their right to make choices. On a national level, it means fewer educated women in the workforce, which lowers Malaysia's productivity and slows down progress. Worst of all, the children of child brides often face the same cycle: poor education, poverty, and the lack of opportunity. Ending child marriage is not just about helping girls. It's about building a healthier, fairer future for all of us. Alright, so now let's take a look at the numbers because data tells the truth. So from 2019 to 2023, reported cases of child marriage in Malaysia have been declining. So here's the breakdown. So 2019, 1467 cases, 2020, 1354 cases, 2021, 1086 cases, 2022, 1035 cases, and 2023, 923 cases. That's a 37% drop in 5 years, which shows that awareness efforts and policies are beginning to make a difference. But however, we can't be too quick to celebrate. Underreporting is still an issue. In rural states like Sabah, Kelantan, and Terengganu, cultural pressure often silences victims. As long as the laws still allow underage marriage with exceptions, and as long as poverty and gender inequality remains, the numbers, though lower, are still too high. So this is why we must continue raising awareness, advocating for legal reform, and ensuring all children have access to education and protection. So because every child deserves the chance to grow, learn, and choose their own future.
Image 1, a photograph from 2023 UNICEF workshop showing stakeholders discuss about child protection strategy include ending child marriage.
I will share a brief analysis of child marriage in Malaysia from both Islamic and Christian philosophical perspective. From the Islamic perspective, child marriage should be exist using Makasat al-Sharia, which aim to protect life, intellect, language, religion, and property. When a child, especially a girl, is married before physical and emotional maturity, it can endanger her health through early pregnancy, disrupt her education, and harm her emotional development. Islam also emphasizes akhlaq or ethic, which say that moral responsibility and major life decisions like marriage require maturity and free will. Although classical Islamic law permitted marriage after puberty, scholars today argue that the content has changed. Therefore, the use of ijtihad, independent reasoning, and siyasah sharia governance for public interest is necessary. This allows for raising the legal age of marriage to better protect children and unhold justice, which is a core value in Islam. From Christian perspective, every human being is seen as having God-given dignity, especially children, who must be protected. Marriage in Christian teaching is a scared, lifelong commitment that requires full consent and emotional maturity. A child cannot provide this, so child marriage goes against Christian values of love, justice, and mutual respect. Christian ethics rooted in agape, selfless love, view forced or premature union as harmful and unjust. Many Christian organizations in Malaysia support raising the minimum marriage age to 18 for all, aligning with their belief in protecting the valuable and promoting human dignity. Child marriage in Malaysia can be viewed through the Rukun Negara, especially the principle of belief in God and rule of law. First, the principle of belief in God emphasizes that all Malaysians, regardless of religion, should live guided by divine moral value. Child marriage constructs this value. In Islam, marriage is a spiritual and moral covenant that requires emotional maturity, informed consent, and responsibility, not just reaching puberty. Similarly, Christianity, Judaism, and Buddhism all teach the importance of dignity, compassion, and protecting the vulnerable, especially children. When child marriage causes trauma, loss of education, or health risk, it goes against the core religion teachings of justice and mercy. Therefore, raising the minimum marriage age to 18 is not just a legal issue, it is a moral and spiritual obligation along with divine value. Secondly, the principle of rule of law demands a fair and equal legal system for all citizens. Currently, Malaysia, a dual legal system created loopholes, while civil law set the minimum marriage age at 18. Sharia law allows younger girls to marry with court approval. This inconsistency leads to unequal protection and weak enforcement of child rights. Reform is needed to unify both legal systems, strengthen child protection producer, and ensure that all marriage approval go to through strict judicial review. Law must be clear, consistency, and just to uphold both the Constitution and international human rights standards. In conclusion, both these principles urge us to act morally and legally to protect children and end child marriage in Malaysia. Child marriage in Malaysia is a serious concern that touches on religion, ethical, legal, and human rights issues. From both Islamic and Christian perspective, it is clear that emotional maturity, informed consent, and protection of children are essential values. In Islam, the concept of Makasa al-Sharia emphasizes safeguarding life, intellect, and morality, while Akhlaq teaches that only mature individuals can be held accountable. Similarly, Christian teaching highlight dignity, love, and justice, reminding us that children must be respected and protected. The Rukun Negara principle, belief in God and rule of law, support this view. Belief in God urge us to act with compassion and justice, and the rule of law demands fairness for all citizens. Yet, inconsistency in Malaysia during legal system means that not all children are equal protected. To honor both religion value and national principle, it is crucial to raise the minimum marriage age to 18 without exception. This is not only a legal necessity but a moral responsibility.
Hello everyone. So today I will be presenting on solutions to the issue of child marriage in Malaysia based on philosophical perspective and the principles of the Rukun Negara. So let's begin with philosophical and religious approaches. Firstly, we propose empowering Islamic scholars and bodies like Jakim to issue clearer guidelines discouraging early marriage unless both individuals are physically, emotionally, and psychologically ready. Similar to Christian perspective, promoting family counseling programs can reinforce values of emotional readiness and long-term commitment before marriage. A key social solution is to empower girls through education and vocational training. This makes them less economically dependent and give families a broader vision of success beyond early marriage. Now moving to the solution inspired by the Rukunegara principles, which is we propose the standardization of the legal marriage age across both civil and Sharia laws, preferable at 18 years old with very limited exceptions and stricter court assessments. Another approach is youth engagement through religious institutions. These programs will promote life skills, self-awareness, and future planning, helping young people make informed life choices. Lastly, we must encourage community leaders and teachers to act as moral role models, emphasizing the protection of childhood as a core moral responsibility. In conclusion, child marriage is a very serious issue in Malaysia that affects the future of many young girls and boys. Even though it may be allowed under certain religious or legal systems, it often leads to negative effects like dropping out of school, health problems, and emotional stress. Child marriage usually happens because of poverty, lack of education, and social pressure. To solve the problem, everyone, including the government, religious leaders, families, and schools, needs to work together. By raising awareness, improving laws, and supporting children's education and well being, we can protect their rights and give them a better chance for a bright and successful future. That's all from us. Thank you.